MMA Hermanos podcast. I am Alejandro, and this is Luis. We are
What
coming
up?
to you live on a Monday. This will be recorded and put out to you on Tuesday. Really quick, I do want to say congratulations to us for getting that Spotify podcast up and going. YouTube as well, starting tomorrow. That first episode won't be on YouTube, at least in video or being able to see us form. But this one and the rest of them from here on out will be. So bear with us. We're getting our there you go, some recovery drinks from Luis here. Bear with us. We're getting all of our stuff kind of figured out with how to make this a consistent, great MMA podcast for you guys. But we are doing great so far, up and running on all social media platforms. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. This is just us bullshitting around, talking about UFC and all things combat sports. So really to kind of get going, UFC 265 this past weekend in Houston. Tell me what you thought, Luis. We'll start from the top and work our way down.
Ooh, man, that was an amazing performance by Cyril Gane, the Fresh Prince. Absolutely stunned me, won me over, honestly. I've watched a few of his fights. I don't want to say lackluster, but he really has a game plan. He uses his athleticism to a really, really big key in his fighting game, and I think that's extremely rare to see the movement that Cyril Gane brings against people. And Derek Lewis really could not find the answer. It was just way too much. I mean, the statistics are there. 98-16 total strikes over Derek Lewis. Being at 80% total clip rate, 89% significant strike rate. The legs chopped, jab there, the elbow over the top at one point was just insane, insane.
Yeah, I agree. I was not a believer in Cyril Gane in terms of, is he championship ready? I didn't think so. I really didn't.
I didn't either.
I think most of us really didn't, because who was he a year ago, 2 years ago? You probably was just starting to hear of him.
Barely even. He's been in the game for 3 years.
Right. So, if you're a casual, you did not find out about him until probably 2-3 months ago.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah.
Right. So, shocker. Cyril Gane is here. He's here to stay.
He's a problem. He is a
problem. Like you said, 98-16 on the striking. The thing is, Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, is a knockout artist.
Mm-hmm.
That you don't take that lightly. You don't do that with any heavyweight, but a knockout artist, someone who has the most in heavyweights, in Derek Lewis, you want to be cautious. Sometimes that makes for kind of a lackluster fight, because you don't want to get knocked the fuck out. And Cyril Gane was in there and out of there to his own will. What he wanted, he did. He wasn't scared of that knockout power, or at least he felt so confident in himself that he didn't need to kind of stay at distance the whole time. He
ran a couple of times in the respect to the power of Derek Lewis. There was a few times where he got the fuck out of there. That's for damn sure. But I mean, that was just smart. I mean, who wants to stay in the pocket with Derek Lewis? He's a boxer. Right. He's well known for his power. You've seen it. Curtis Blades' knockout was one of the most devastating I've ever seen. Yeah. So it's just, wow, Cyril Gane.
Right. And I feel we'll talk about Derek Lewis really quick before we see what's next for Cyril, and we'll see what's next for Derek Lewis. I feel bad for him. This is his second attempt. Looked worse than his first in terms of, he has a lot more experience now. He has those knockouts to his record, even more so now. And that's when you're at the top right there, right? Like, there's only gold from where he's standing or bust. So the fact that he got beat in the way that he did, it's kind of like, what's next for him, because he usually doesn't care. He usually doesn't
he doesn't give a shit. He just wants his money, and that's pretty well known. But I mean, with any athlete contending at the top, everybody wants that gold. I mean, me and you, competitive as hell. There's no way that we wouldn't want to just do it for the money. There's got to be something to it too.
Right. And they're usually during these press fight conferences, he doesn't, like I said, he doesn't care. He's just making fun of, Daniel Cormier and Popeye's chicken and whatever else. Like, he's just having a good time. It's not really about getting that gold and letting the fans know and the press know, like, this is my dream. I want this.
Right.
That's not who he is. This time around, though, during that press conference, he was saying, oh, it's about time Houston had that belt home. These kind of things. It was a little bit more like he recognized where he was at in that position. So I feel bad for him. I think what's next for Derek Lewis is to take a not too sizable of a step back. I think maybe a ranked a ranked number 5, number 6, just to, you know, stay up there. I assume he does that, wins 1, maybe wins 2 more. He could be right back to this spot. But again, you know, you just want to focus on Cyril Gane and Francis Ngannou. Now that storyline is absolutely nuts because they were former training partners in France.
Teammates, yep.
No one comes
Long
from
time ago.
France. And I think what's next for Cyril Gane is obviously Francis Ngannou. That's already going to be booked very soon here. I can almost guarantee. And, you know, who do you have, Luis?
Oh, man. Francis Ngannou has shown poise. He's shown that growth, that he's changed from the first Stipe fight to the other one. But man, if Cyril Gane does what he does, I think Cyril Gane's going to take it. I really, really do. Nervously saying so, just because like Francis Ngannou's a monster. He's an absolute scary motherfucker. I mean, he knows Cyril Gane, and I'm sure he's beaten Cyril Gane before actually sparring, whatever. Who knows? You know.
Right.
Those are those untold stories in the training room.
Right.
But Cyril Gane is only getting better. He beat one of the best heavyweights out there to ever fight in the octagon. So, I mean, you neutralize someone with power like that, going in and out, in and out, in and out, and that could be a problem for Francis Ngannou.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree that it could be a problem for Francis Ngannou. I'm still going to give it to Francis. I think he's going to take the W. I think he's going to knock out Cyril Gane. I'm hesitant in almost saying that just because, again, we really haven't seen a whole lot of Cyril Gane. He hasn't lost. The man hasn't lost.
No, that's the thing. Who's going to be the first one to do it? Francis Ngannou could be the first one to do it.
Right. And so I think he will be. I don't know their history. That could play a big part in this. I think they're both pretty stone cold killers when they get in there because they're the nicest guys out of it, you know. So I don't anticipate any shoving and like
nothing too
kind of happening. So, but they're killers in there, and so I haven't seen Cyril Gane just lights out somebody. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he really has lights out somebody, at least recently. Because so
let me check that out.
Derek Lewis, he didn't lights out Derek Lewis. It seemed like it was kind of a fatigue, and I just didn't have a thing.
JDS with the elbow.
Yes, that wasn't really a lights out either, though, because
that was about it. That was it, because he's got 2 submissions, 3 decisions, and then the 1 knockout, I guess you could say, from JDS, but nothing too crazy.
Right, and JDS
and obviously with Derek Lewis, I think that TKO had to do more or less with his legs.
Yeah, I agree. And,
that was nuts.
JDS, it was a clean hit on his. They thought it was the back of his head, but it wasn't the back of his head. It was almost
right at the ear.
Right at the ear. And so that was, you know, not really a lights out thing. He kind of went down slow. Didn't think he was going to keep getting hit because he thought it was an illegal hit, and he just didn't have the capability to get back up.
But is Cyril Gane playing that game plan? Is he playing the 1-punch knockout game, or is he playing the accumulation? Because he's doing it. He's doing the accumulation. He's putting the pressure on.
Right. I think he should. Who knows? We're just.
That's heavyweights too. That's something we'd like to see because we've seen it with everybody that's done it. DC can knock out people. Stipe can knock out people.
Right.
Derek Lewis can knock out people. Where's Cyril Gane? Jairzinho Rozenstruik can knock out people. Right. You know, like where is it? Where is it?
Exactly. But we do know that Francis has that.
And Francis, oh my goodness,
almost above everyone, right? Like.
You saw the Alistair Overeem knockout. That was disgusting.
And recency bias is a real thing. So Cyril Gane,
for sure,
he's at the top of the game right now because he just fought and he is undefeated. So he deserves all the praise that he's getting. However, like I said, I think Francis really will take it. I think he'll knock him out because the difference in my mind, I'm thinking Derek Lewis, Francis Ngannou, where are they different to where Francis can win against Cyril? For me, I would say Francis has damn near as close a knockout power as Derek Lewis.
I'd say.
And if not, just like right on the same level, which is the top, right? It's them two.
Right.
But he is much more of that freak athlete, body build, that endurance mindset. And he's been learning again against Stipe. You could see the maturity in his game.
Absolutely.
That's something that Derek Lewis, unfortunately, all around didn't have. I mean, I remember Francis had a takedown against Stipe where that was when people were like, oh, holy shit, this man is.
Yeah, right.
So So that is what I'm giving the edge to Francis. We shall see, regardless of what happens. We will enjoy that. I cannot wait to see that.
It's gonna be nuts.
Hopefully by the end of
The
this
whole
year.
France deal too. That's gonna be big. The Dana White, they signed a TV deal with France. They just opened up France with everything. So you couldn't, like he said earlier, you couldn't have written a better script, Vincent McMahon. So I mean, so it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a big event in France. It'll be interesting because there's a couple French fighters that need to get on this card. Maybe some Canadians too.
The only thing is, in terms of it being in France, I don't know if it will be because this fucking pandemic, bro. Oh my gosh, it won't.
Well, it's starting to open up. I mean, it won't go away, but it's starting to open up, and like they're still working the kinks out and everything like that. So I mean, it's going to be in the near future, maybe distant future, not too crazy. But Francis Ngannou wants to fight. He needs to fight. Only opponent's going to be at Cyril.
Here's to having France open up in time. If not, we'll get it in here in the United States, I'm sure, or maybe
in Houston.
Abu Dhabi. Yeah, in Houston, right? Derek Lewis sitting on the front seats. Moving on. Jose Aldo, Pedro Munoz.
Ooh, that was a really good fight.
It was. I feel so bad. I honestly never give Jose Aldo the respect he deserves. And
I thought Pedro Munoz was going to win just because he knows how to check a leg kick, and Jose Aldo just didn't do it, which was smart. My God, he looked so good. He's done a lot of good things with his body, his diet, his lifestyle choices. He's sitting back and making sure he's healthy. This is the first time he's been healthy at this weight. This is the best I think I've seen Jose Aldo, especially what was he been like 2-4 in his last 6?
Something like that. Yeah. It's
against a guy, Pedro Munoz, incredible fight, pieced him up. Cardio was there. 3 rounds, he broke his own striking record. Most strikes he's throwing in 3 rounds, and he's fought a lot of 5-round events.
Right. I agree. He looked very, very fresh. I have to give him his respect now. I don't know who he's going against next, but he's going to beat him.
There are 3 people that he could possibly go against that I think would be good for all these 3 people if he does end up losing, which I don't know if he could or would. Corey Sandhagen, TJ Dillashaw, or Font. Those are the 3 people that Jose Aldo needs to fight to either Jose Aldo propel him into the conversation of being a bantamweight champion, or whoever beats him is going to fight for that belt.
Who do you want him to fight out of them?
Corey Sandhagen.
Sandhagen?
I'm a fanboy of Sandhagen. I love Corey Sandhagen. I think he's a vicious killer, and I'm still upset, and I'll probably talk about it for months on end. He got robbed. I think he won. I think he devastating. I mean, coming from a damage standpoint, I like the damage, and man, he definitely brought it. But Jose Aldo could fight any of those 3 guys any day, or even Cody Garbrandt as well. That'd be a really good fight to see. If those happen, those could propel either people into the championship talk.
So I will only say not Corey Sandhagen because I just told you that no matter what, I'm going for Jose Aldo for the next fight. And if he fights Corey Sandhagen, I'm not going for Jose Aldo. I'm going for Corey. So, yeah, I say put him up against TJ Dillashaw.
That'd be awesome. I would love to see TJ lose. What?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Hashtag fuck PED use. Especially.
I just don't like TJ Dillashaw. I don't know. I just feel yeah.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Fuck him. So, just in case you guys aren't aware, we hold a little bit of grudges against some of these fighters, even though of course they would whoop our ass in real life. However,
all day.
However, we, as me and Luis are just gonna talk shit because TJ Dillashaw
all day.
PED use, fuck you. Leon Edwards. If you guys didn't listen to our first episode, Luis has some kind of chagrin, he's disgruntled by Leon Edwards and the way he carries himself. I can't wait to dissect that a little bit more in other episodes because I'm sure he's going to get booked pretty soon here. So
I did listen to the Leon Edwards JRE episode. I'll give him a little bit. He is a little funny, but he can still go fuck himself.
There we go. So moving on, Michael Chiesa, Vicente Luque. Wow, I think Vicente Luque needs to be in that conversation now for the title.
The only reason I don't is because Michael Chiesa had his back. Michael Chiesa had it in. It was dangerous. Vicente Luque, out of nowhere, pulls one of the most amazing Darce chokes I've ever seen coming from a position of danger. The only reason I don't think he's there completely yet, and this is kind of why I love that you actually brought up Leon Edwards, the only time I'd actually be excited for it. Vicente Luque needs one more fight. Yes, he's in the conversation, but he needs one more redemption fight. two people come to mind. Steven Thompson. Well, that's his one loss he needs to get back, or Leon Edwards. And I think Leon Edwards' Luque fight would be amazing. See if Leon Edwards will sign. I would love to see Wonderboy fight. Big fan of Wonderboy all day. But Vicente Luque needs one more, and he's there.
Yes, I agree. One more, and then he would
Silent Assassin.
It needs to be. It would. I would love it against Leon Edwards, to be honest, because I would go for Vicente Luque, and I don't know Leon Edwards. I just need to see. I need to see him beat someone top 5 convincingly, because
right.
When was the last time he's been going against people who aren't top 5? You know,
well, a lot of people duck him. That's
right.
that's a known thing. That's another thing I won't ever discredit either. A lot of people duck Leon Edwards.
I would really be curious to know how much of that is like is real in terms of, because okay, so let me explain. When you're at the top of the game, you have you almost have no choice unless you are a megastar like Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz, or whoever else that's a superstar in this moment, maybe Izzy. You really don't have a choice, but he already is champion. So yeah, maybe just those two. But you don't really have a choice. You have to, those are the top dogs. Fight a guy in the top 5 and you get yourself a title shot, unless maybe you're Peter Yan. But honestly,
he beat RDA and he beat Donald Cerrone, but that was a while ago. But that's the thing, is like he kind of got shafted with the whole Kazmat Himaev COVID situation, because that would have been a big fight there.
Right.
And then the pandemic was kind of an issue, especially with him being in the UK. He couldn't really do anything.
Right.
And then before then, just no one would want to sign. So he ended up having to go fight RDA, which is a good fight. And then Bilal Muhammad stepped up.
Yeah.
Which ended unfortunately.
I would, one more fight, Vicente Luque versus Leon Edwards. They fight for the title after Kamaru Usman beats Colby Covington. Because I'm predicting that. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Torres, Angela Hill. That was a good fight too.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. I enjoyed that fight. It was a good one. But you know, it's hard when it comes to the women's, because Rose. Okay, so Rose is a new champion, but when you talk about like Valentina Shevchenko and Amanda Nunes, I'm like, I cannot think of her name. Why? Amanda Nunes, they're so dominant. It's just like, everyone's just like, you know, you want to see people rise and get to where they need to be in order, you know, to get that title shot and to win. But when the top is so dominant, it's so like, what's next for them? You know, Tisha Torres is going to get another top fight. She's going to climb the ranks, and then and then maybe after maybe 1 or 2 more wins, because she looks really good.
Yeah, she looked amazing in that fight against Angela Hill. Angela Hill all day, and Angela didn't look her best whatsoever. I mean, they threw a lot of strikes, a lot of missed strikes. I mean, Tisha Torres was not very accurate. I mean, 48% is pretty high accuracy rate, but she was missing a lot of big shots.
Right. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, when Rose, Amanda Nunes, and Valentina Shevchenko are so dominant, it's just so hard to say like, what's next for these fighters that are trying
it's tough.
Right. So, but shout out to Tisha Torres. She did win. That automatically brings you to the next level of competition. So I think she'll be there.
I think that's a conversation to have about having more weight classes in the women's side of things, just because like you said, it's like, what's next for a lot of these girls, a lot of these women, because Amanda Nunes is so dominant. It's not like, okay, who's the next person who could possibly beat her? It's like, all right, she beat the shit out of everybody. Now this girl hasn't fought her yet. Now she's next. No offense, Megan Anderson. Megan didn't really stand a chance, and we saw that. And it's not because she was the most fit for that fight. She was literally, there was no one else.
Throw all the money at Kayla Harrison and bring her in, because that's the only.
And that's something that we need to do. And it would be interesting to see Amanda Nunes either go up, because I don't think Kayla Harrison can go down. She's a big lady.
She is. She did win. She did go down about half a year ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. She went down. Everyone was very surprised. She did it though. She could.
Wow.
But I agree. Let Amanda Nunes. I don't think Amanda Nunes would have a problem going up a little bit. No. So, and it doesn't have to be for a title. I just think, well, it should be for a title. I take that back. However, no one in the UFC right now is going to touch Amanda. And again, Tisha Torres, congratulations. A couple more fights. Can't wait to see you. Song Yadong
Absolutely.
against Casey Kenny. That dude he's gonna be fighting some top competition soon.
Oh, he's a problem.
He is.
He
Yeah.
is a problem. I'm surprised he went the distance.
Yeah, yeah. I'm surprised too, but it was a pretty dominant it was pretty dominant of a 3-round fight for him, 15 minutes. He was
Oh yeah,
he
I
did what he
mean,
needed to. And
he
bantamweight,
outstruck him. He outstruck him by about 40 strikes. His accuracy was there. Defended the takedown really well. 20% rate for Casey Kenny, a guy who's really well known for that. And I mean, Song Yadong has beaten some good people. Lost a close decision to Kyler Phillips. Beat Cheeto Vera. That's a big win for anybody to have against Cheeto Vera. So
right.
that's awesome to see. And then he beat Alejandro Perez as well by knockout on the first round. That was huge. That's why I don't question the knockout power of Song Yadong.
Yes. So bantamweight is arguably the best division right now.
It's insane.
Usually everyone's like, oh, lightweight, and yeah, lightweight's always going to be up there. It's probably still there. However, bantamweight's hard, and for sure, I would say Song Yadong needs to be top 15 now because I don't think he is.
No, he is not.
So I would put
That's
him,
what I was just about to check.
right. So now he needs to start fighting that's the top 15 competition. He needs to be ranked going into the next one. Put him at 14, put Cheeto at 15,
Ooh.
and then have him go against Merab.
It's such a
Rafael.
stacked division. That's insane.
Rafael Asuncio is number 12.
That's insane. That's what's insane to me is Merab Defashali is 11, and that guy he just smashes people. You need a lot of fights for these guys to get to the championship fight. And I mean, I can't wait for Aljo to get out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, Song Yadong needs to be ranked. He needs to fight a guy in the top 10. I like to see him probably go against Rafael Sansao or maybe Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz, I'm not sure
that'd be a good fight.
Yeah,
that'd be a really good fight.
I think it would be good for Song Yadong to kind of skyrocket into the top 10. And Dominic Cruz, I'm not 100% sure if he needs a other tune-up fight because he beat Casey Kenny last and he hasn't fought since. And so what's next for Dominic Cruz? Is he going to go up again? Does he want to fight somebody up there? Does he need another kind of, tune-up fight for someone who might be a little bit less ranked? So I would say, throw Song Yadong against Dominic Cruz if he's...
That'd be a good fight.
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be a really good fight and get him into the rankings. I think it'd be, a good challenge for Dominic Cruz as well.
Right.
Just because Song Yadong's young, he's up and coming. He's got nothing and everything to lose, where Dominic Cruz has held it. He's been there. He's been a solidified person in the rankings. Is he a journeyman? Is he a jobber? Let's not say that. Dominic Cruz is a championship level fighter. All those guys within the top 10 could hold the belt. So it's arguable.
Right. I agree. So moving on, prelim card. We won't spend a lot of time here, but I will say that Rafael Fiziev, that man's a monster. I would like to see him against a top 15 opponent already now. He looks like he needs to fight some higher competition. Don't be mad if he takes a loss at, a top 10 opponent or a top 15 opponent, but I think he needs it. I would throw
this is where Kevin Lee fits in.
Finally, this is where Kevin Lee fits in.
This is where Kevin Lee fits in.
Right now in this moment. Didn't Kevin Lee get his last fight canceled or like something happened? He was supposed to be scheduled against somebody. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on with Kevin Lee right now. I think it might have been just like maybe someone got COVID. I don't know. However, Kevin Lee definitely, I can see this. Kevin Lee versus Rafael, that would be a great fight. That would help Kevin Lee get into... Is he lightweight? Because I know he changed.
Yeah. He's number 11 in the rankings.
Right. So Kevin Lee would be a great fight. Honestly, Kevin Lee needs a lightweight competition and not someone who's top 10 right now. I think he needs to just have a tune-up because it's been so long. Rafael.
Well, and the last person he fought was Oliveira, and he got submitted in the third.
Right. So Rafael versus Kevin Lee. We're calling it right now. Put them together. All right.
That'd be a good fight. Be a good fight.
So for the rest of the field, just congrats, Vince Morales, Alonzo Menafield. I'm so glad he won. I think he is putting together a really nice resume to finally make some noise in the top 15. And Jessica Penne. Moving on. This upcoming week, we have a really good fight in Cannonier versus Gastelum. We'll go through the whole card really quick. I really like that fight. Jared Cannonier versus Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum is one of my favorite dark horses, because I saw The Ultimate Fighter. He was a beast. He was picked last, and he made it and took the W. He almost got the gold. He's taken a lot of L's lately. He's kind of been up and down, right? He wins, he loses, he wins, he loses. But
right,
a short notice fight against Jared Cannonier, I hope that he can really train hard and take the W.
I mean, and the thing about Jared Cannonier too, though, I mean, he always fights top tier guys. I mean, his last fight he lost was against Robert Whittaker,
right? Yeah,
as a decision.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he did get pieced apart pretty nasty the whole time.
He beat Anderson Silva, arguably KO. You know what I mean? Like, he beat Jack Hermanson KO. Like, he's no pushover. He's ranked 3 for a reason.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm going for Kelvin on that one. I think, I mean, come on, like what, 3 years ago now? Man, Izzy's been champion for a while.
Oh, yeah.
But that interim title fight, Kelvin
brought it to him.
He gave him the most trouble that Izzy has ever had. Kelvin, I think, still has that in him. He's young still. He's been in the game for a long time, but he's young. I think it just takes a little bit. It's just going to take him some more time to get there. Something like a Michael Bisping, right? Like you would never think. I think Kelvin has that. I'm calling it right fucking now. Kelvin Gastelum is going to be the Michael Bisping of that division right now. Were they the same division?
Yeah, Kevin Gastelum beat Michael Bisping.
He is the next Michael Bisping. He's going to get the title. He's going to have it in 2 more years. We'll see. But
I think Gastelum brought him into retirement, if I'm not wrong.
I think you're
right. Yeah, he did. But the thing about Kevin Gastelum, it's crazy because he is young, but he's been in the game since 2013.
Yeah.
It's insane. And like Cannonier, Gastelum, that's a big fireworks fight. Gastelum brings the wrestling. Obviously, we know his pedigree in that, but like Gastelum can knock people out. We've seen that over and over and over again. He's knocked out Bisping. He's knocked out Nate Marquardt. He's got a lot of really, really good wins to his name. Tim Kennedy, Johnny Hendricks, when Johnny Hendricks was at the top. Like, he was killing it then. I mean, he's beaten Ronaldo Sueza.
Right.
And then he got on his skid against Darren Till and Izzy, top 2 guys. Absolutely insane. It's going to be a really, really good fight. I have Kevin Gastelum winning by KO.
Yes.
I have Kevin Gastelum winning by KO. I don't think it's going to be a pretty fight. I think both of them are going to take damage. I think both of them are going to be brought to some pretty good extremes. And let's see where it goes. But anything can happen in this fight. That's for sure.
Yeah. And Kelvin Gastelum, this is a number 3 ranked guy. If you take the dub, you probably have one more fight, maybe not even. You could probably sit back and wait, because I know Izzy doesn't mind that rematch. He
wants Whittaker, and then Gastelum would probably be the next in line, because why would he want to fight Marvin and
he's not.
What's his name? Paulo Costa. It's not going to happen.
Marvin's going to have to wait until Israel is done with his reign, because I really don't think Israel would want to give him a shot anytime soon.
No.
So,
another guy in the conversation for the middleweight, though, I mean, Sean Strickland. If Sean Strickland beats Luke Rockhold, that's going to be a big thing too. I mean, obviously he doesn't give a shit, but he's no joke. He climbed 3 rankings, and I think Sean Strickland's better than Jack Hermanson and Derek Brunson, respectively. Derek Brunson, but man, Darren Till, Sean Strickland would be a good fight too.
That is such a yes, but the Sean Strickland versus Luke Rockhold, that is a great fight.
Oh yeah,
that we didn't see coming, because I don't think. Did we talk? I don't think any of us predicted. Yeah, we didn't predict that last week.
No, not at all. I don't think we did.
I'm glad that it happened. I knew. See, the thing is, Luke Rockhold's been out for a while. We didn't realize that he was looking. Well, I did know that he was looking for a fight, but you never know with someone who's been out for that long when they're finally going to sign. So
yeah,
that is a great fight to make. Sean Strickland. We were wrong on the matchups that we chose from last week. However, we are so glad that we're wrong, because Luke Rockhold.
Oh right, it's going to be a really, really good fight.
It's going to be a great fight. And I can definitely see the press conference going hilariously.
Have you seen the memes?
I have not seen the memes.
Oh, it's Sean Strickland. They had a side-by-side Sean Strickland and Luke Rockhold, and it said Michael Bisping, Rockhold 3.
Yeah.
Because when Bisping was bald.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit's funny.
So shit to him. It's going to be hilarious.
Oh, absolutely. It'll be a good time.
Yeah. Next on that card, Clay Guida versus Mark Madsen. I love me some Clay. That man
me
has been
too.
in the game for a long-ass time.
Long time.
He's in a co-main. It isn't a pay-per-view, but he won his last fight, I want to say. I know he's been pretty active. He's always been active.
Yeah, he beat Michael Johnson. I mean, Michael Johnson's great.
He is great. 36-17. Clay Guida coming up next. That's a great one. Great card all around. Honestly, if you guys who are listening, if you made it this fucking far on the second episode of this amazing Los MMA Hermanos podcast, let me tell you right now, Brandon Royval versus Alexander Pantoja is the fight to watch.
Woo!
The first one on that main card, and I promise you that's going to be fireworks. Think about it. Brandon Royval, this man was one fight. He lost to Brandon Moreno last.
What? Right,
And
right,
if he would have won that fight, he would have fought for the title next. He would have.
right, right.
But he lost. So Brandon Moreno won. So Brandon Royval versus Alexander Pantoja. I'm going for Brandon Royval. I honestly think I called this out a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years now. I saw him fight like 2 times in a row, pretty quick, like back-to-back turnarounds kind of thing. And he looked like such a beast. He honestly is what's the oh man, what is the thing? Let me double check here. Just so I don't want to fuck this one up. Okay, as far as flyweight goes, he's the Nate Diaz of the flyweight division. That man talks a lot of shit in the octagon. He has confidence out the wazoo. Honestly, I'm pretty sure he might be Nate Diaz might be a really huge influence on him because Brandon Royval walks the walk, talks the talk, and has a good ass time. I think he's the next champion after Brandon Moreno takes like 7 dubs in a row. but Brandon Royval going against Alexander, that's going to be a huge fucking fight. It's the first one on the card. You guys need to tune in and watch that for sure.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be an amazing fight. I think it's a great matchup, another 3-6 matchup there. It'll be a big, big win for Brandon Royval, especially coming off that Moreno loss. Pantoja's coming off a good win against Manel Cape. That's a huge win to have. But here's the thing. Whoever wins this fight is going to go against Askar Askarov. There's no doubt about it. He is number 3 in the rankings right now, I believe. Let me double check. Number 2 in the rankings. Brandon Moreno is going to probably run it back with Davison Figueiredo. We don't really want that. But Askar Askarov is number 2. Alexander Pantoja is number 3. And then we got Brandon Royval at number 6. You take this matchup with Pantoja and Royval. Whoever wins that has to, but it's probably going to go against Askar Askarov for a contender matchup. Whoever wins that will fight Brandon Moreno if Davison Figueiredo does not. Because Askar Askarov hasn't lost yet. He is kind of a fucking monster. Yeah. And all these guys in the division it's not the biggest division out there, but they're strong. They're really, really good. I find them extremely entertaining.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, hot take. UFC doesn't really promote them very well, that division.
Not at all.
So they almost got rid of that division a couple years ago. Henry Cejudo saved that division. And
absolutely.
That was what, 2018, 2017? Now they have a marketable champion 2 times in a row now because Davison Figueiredo was pretty marketable, and now Brandon Moreno,
he was a monster,
comes out of nowhere being like everyone loves the good-hearted person that he is, the way that he talks, the inspiration that comes behind him. He
just wants his Legos
up. Yeah. So now they have 2 marketable at the top. I think people are going to start realizing just how stacked that division really is. Because like you said, Brandon Royval is ranked number 6 right now.
Oh, yeah.
And he is a monster. Askar Askarov is a monster. These guys are going to go crazy in this. I think 2022 is going to be the year for the flyweight division.
You just got to find guys. I mean, the weight, it's not even that
but it's not even
the guys in there now. It's the weight. It's a tough weight to get down to. But if you can find guys that you can really get them out there and market them right, exactly like you said, I think this weight class is going to be something to be talked about here in a couple of years, like you said.
Honestly, I agree. So again, the names aren't really there for people to be like, wow, this is a great division. It is a great division. If you look at bantamweight, so bantamweight and lightweight are my arguably top 2 divisions right now. I would strongly debate that flyweight is number 3 or number 4. There's no way.
You say bantamweight, lightweight?
Bantamweight and lightweight are the toughest divisions right now. I think the weakest division right now is middleweight with Israel Adesanya. I think that's the weakest division right now. Light heavyweight's the weakest.
I was just about to say, I was looking at that shit right there. Light heavyweight's a little rough right now.
All right, light heavyweight's the weakest. Middleweight is next. Welterweight is just kind of middle ground. Heavyweight is middle ground for me. On the women's side, they kind of have their own ranking system, but they're all way more. Well, see, this is the thing, man. At the very top, the top is so strong in the women's divisions,
right?
That it's like, man. But they do have really good like middle ground of people.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of good contenders. There's a lot of good fighters. It's like you said, the problem is that top tier is just way out there. There's levels to this shit.
Yes,
you know they say that.
I would say to the moon. With
I would say bantamweight's man, featherweight's a contending. Lightweight is the strongest. Featherweight gets talked about. I think ties number 2 with bantamweight and featherweight, and then flyweight I think is number 3 for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because you can't. I mean, Max Holloway's a featherweight. Ortega, Yair Rodriguez, Korean Zombie, man, Calvin Kattar. Like what? Yeah. That's insane. But yeah, they're extremely middle 3. The bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, absolutely stellar. Right. Absolutely stellar divisions.
So I would say flyweight is up there. The thing is, they're just not marketable yet as a core, right? Because I keep up with flyweight is probably one of those divisions I keep up with a lot more than most, and we cover 180. And number 7 is Kai Kara France, who's welcoming in Cody Garbrandt, by the way, into that division.
Oh yeah,
that's going to be a hell of a fight
on my birthday.
Kai Kara France trains with Israel on your birthday. That's when it was, really?
Yeah, December 11th. That's what we should pick something up.
We should make something. So Kai Kara France, if nothing else, we'll do a live show party.
Yeah.
And every time there's a knockout, you do a shot.
Oh no, that would be fun.
No knockouts on the card. Sober.
Oh, that'd be awful. I'd be pissed. I'd be mad if I wasn't drunk.
Right. David Dvorak, number 11. This is a stack of Matt Schnell, Tim Elliott. Oh man, that's a really good division. I need to stop looking at that. I get mad that they're not marketed as much as they should be. Anyways, moving on. Cannonier versus Gastelum. I almost forgot which card we were talking about for a second. That's gonna be a great one to watch. I really think that I think Gastelum's gonna take it. We already talked about that though. Moving on, the one after that, just really quick, I do want to say Edson Barboza had a huge fucking fight against
Shane Burgos.
Shane Burgos, when he hit him and he kind of got knocked out over a 10-second span or 5-second span.
That was incredible to see. It was very scary. I mean, those guys were lights out. I knew it was going to be a fucking insane fight from the get-go. Those two guys know how to knock a person out. Yeah. But I've never seen that before. I've never seen such a delayed reaction, and just the ways his eyes just kind of went. It was kind of scary, but he's good. Thank goodness he's good. That's the biggest thing we want to make sure and hope for, that no one gets severely hurt or has ridiculous amounts of brain damage afterwards. So
right. So Edson Barboza's next. We won't spend time on going through the cards. I just want to see who the mains are. So you guys can become aware of what's happening here. Derek Brunson versus Darren Till. That one got rescheduled, didn't it? I swear he just got. We know Darren Till's up next. No, I believe that's what's next. We have a couple scheduled fights that just got announced over the last week that we can probably bring up for everybody. Again, Cody Garbrandt versus Kai Kara France on Luis's birthday. Costa versus Vittori.
Yep.
So that's going to be a great one coming up here. That one just got signed, I think, for October 23rd. So that'll be a fight night event, not on a pay-per-view. Gaethje versus
thank
Chandler.
God.
Yeah, I know. Gaethje versus Chandler. That's going to be that Madison Square Garden event. I cannot wait to hear the rest of that lineup.
That's going to be an amazing matchup. I'm actually really, really excited for that one. They're talking shit back and forth, and Chandler doesn't like the way that Gaethje kind of walks and talks, but I really fuck with Gaethje. Super smart guy, really, really enjoys what he does, fights, loves it. It'll be a good matchup. He just wants to knock him out. Gaethje wants to knock out Chandler, and that's what he said. He's like, I just want to punch you in the face.
Right.
Usman Covington in November on the same card as Gaethje and Chandler, so that's going to be dope.
I agree. So find on our way out here, we're going to play a little matchup game for the champions that don't have a scheduled fight, and then we will be on to episode 3 next week.
Woo-hoo.
All right, let's start with the flyweights. Brandon Moreno, he hasn't signed yet. I believe we talked about this one last week, but just in case the folks don't see that first episode, but they see the second, who do you have?
The next possible matchup, you're saying?
Yes.
I would say Brandon Moreno, Askar Askarov. I think that'd be a great fight, especially I think that would solidify his championship reign.
Right.
The beginning of it, starting to cement it, especially handing that that first loss to Askar Askarov would be very impressive in the fashion that Askar has been finishing and kind of dominating throughout these last few fights. I think it'd be a really great matchup. Good test for Moreno.
I agree. I hope it's Askarov. That's the fight that needs to happen. That makes sense the most. However, Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno 3 is something that I know they really, really want, and I think
Right.
I believe they're probably talking in the back, making these matchups, saying if they don't give it to him, Davison Figueiredo, to have that number 3 win, they could possibly lose out on that, because if Davison Figueiredo doesn't find his way back to the top, then,
if they got a way to do it in Mexico, I think that'd be an awesome thing to do.
Yeah, patience is a virtue.
Absolutely.
Wait for that one. All right, Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan is already
Stop.
scheduled. Is it?
I know. I'm just saying, like, this division is just kind of weird. No, I mean, like, I got mad respect for Aljamain Sterling, but he's kind of being a dick about being a champion. A lot of people are arguing if he's a true champion or not. The ways he's not. I mean, unfortunately, in the ways of winning, in the ways of losing, Piotr Yan is a piece of shit. He did what he did, got DQ'd. He lost it via DQ. That is a possible way to win the belt. Is it the best pay? No, it's not the best way to do it. Especially going up, be like, I'm the fucking champ, bitch. No, don't do that off a DQ. He was losing anyway.
Exactly. He was losing anyway. Remember that, guys. You shouldn't be champion if you're already losing.
That matchup, who do you think? Who are you taking?
Peter versus.
Did it get rescheduled? I don't even know.
Well, I feel like it's a verbal thing right now. I don't know if it's signed, but yeah, they're supposed to fight next. So I'm taking Aljamain Sterling.
Now that would be a fucking trip.
I'm taking Aljamain Sterling, man.
Piotr Yan, Aljamain Sterling. I'm gonna go with my head here. Double DQ. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go Piotr Yan with my head. But if we're gonna go play this game, the dark horse, I got Aljamain Sterling knockout from the first 10 seconds.
Oh, now you're just fucking around.
I got Piotr Yan. I think he wins either the distance or he wins by KO TKO.
Okay, I got Aljamain Sterling getting him by a submission. He's gonna get him with a submission.
He could. He's dangerous. He's dangerous on the ground.
So, all right, Alexander Volkanovski is fighting Brian Ortega, so we don't have to matchmake for that one. Who do you have?
If Ortega's smart and brings it to the ground, Ortega could win this fight pretty easily. He can stand and bang, but he's dangerous on the ground. I really hope Ortega takes it. I'm going to go with Ortega. He's going to win by submission. The only reason I want that to happen is because I want Max Holloway to fight for the championship again.
Okay. I respect that. I'm going for Brian Ortega as well. However, I actually think he's better than Alexander Volkanovski. And I think I just might be biased, man. Why did he have to win twice against Max? Anyways, yeah, I think
arguably win.
Yeah, arguably win. So Brian Ortega gets the dub there. Charles Oliveira, who does he fight next? Dustin Poirier? You think they're just waiting to sign the contract on that one?
I think they're waiting. I think that's going to be the matchup. I mean, we got number 2 and number 4, Gaethje versus Chandler. So we already know that's inked. That's ready to go. If they do McGregor Poirier again, there's no way.
I don't want them. Yeah, they make a lot of money, but
right. I think Dustin Poirier should fight for the championship belt. I think that's his big move if he really is about it. I think that's the only option. Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, I agree. However, if I'm Beneil Dariush,
I was looking at his name too. I was like, shit, he's been waiting 35 years.
Right. If I'm Beneil, I'm saying, hey man, Dustin Poirier just fought. He's waiting. He wants to spend time with his wife. Charles Oliveira has a little bit more of a, he's probably more ready to fight sooner.
Right.
I would be like Dana White. If he cares about getting the gold more and then the money, just tell him he'll do it for 50% off.
Damn.
Why not?
Damn, son.
Because think about it. Get in there before it's too late, because Dustin Poirier is going against Charles Oliveira. That's right. We think that's going to happen.
That's going to happen. Yeah.
Justin Gaethje just signed with Michael Chandler. Now they're going to fight against each other. Who's Beneil going to wait on? He's going to have to fight Islam. He's not.
Islam Makhachev is fighting on the December 11th card. He signed against. Let me double check that. But he signed, I'm pretty sure, against somebody for that card. Yeah, RDA. Yeah, RDA. Now Makhachev are going to fight 267 on my birthday.
Oh my God. Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of big there. Or whenever 267 is, I'm not exactly what date that would be, because the Gaethje fight is what, 268. So it's the in-betweener.
So Tony Ferguson is the only person that Beneil could fight, but he just beat his ass. So
Right.
well, he didn't. I feel so bad for Tony, man.
Oh my God, there's nobody. There's nobody.
He needs to sneak in
So shit. Oliveira might fight Beneil Dariush depending on what Dustin Poirier does.
Right. If Dustin Poirier needs time, Beneil Dariush needs to be like, hey man, I'll turn those wheels real quick. Just let me get in there in a month or two. Welterweight, Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington's already picked. So who do you have on that one? I'm gonna skip that. Kamaru Usman, both of us. Next middleweight. No, okay, let's go back. We'll go back. Welterweight, Kamaru Usman. Honestly, Colby Covington is a great fighter. He deserves. People say that he doesn't deserve the title because he fought Tyron Woodley. Yeah, he fought Tyron Woodley, and before that was Kamaru Usman. So it's like, why does he deserve it? But Colby Covington is a fucking beast.
He's a dude.
In the cage, I mean, you can say what you want about him outside of the cage, but inside the cage, he is probably better than all these guys. Besides, maybe I don't even know.
No, honestly, I mean, aside from his personality, aside from all the bullshit he tries to pull, he is the number one contender in the welterweight division. He hurt Kamaru Usman, but Colby Covington got damaged. He got beat up. They need to run it back. This is a high hype fight. This is going to bring numbers. They're already talking shit. There's already that bad blood there. But Kamaru Usman really doesn't have anybody else in the division to really owe anything to other than Leon Edwards. Say he beats Colby Covington, he's out of the discussion. He's out. He's done. He's still a top contender, but I don't think Usman would really care to defend it there. Kamaru Usman, did he beat Leon Edwards? Have they even fought? Yeah. So that would be a good fight to run it back. And then, I mean, Stephen Thompson's the only one. He just lost to Gilbert Burns. And I don't think Kamaru Usman wants to run it back with Gilbert Burns. That was a pretty easy fight. Pretty remarkable performance by Usman.
Kamaru Usman wins against Colby Covington.
Same.
He's going to be waiting forever to find an opponent because Gilbert Burns isn't in a rush to get back.
Right. And he's calling out fucking everybody right now. His Twitter's just funny as shit. He's calling out Masvidal, he's calling out Nate Diaz, he's calling out everybody and anybody under the sun. He wants a payday. He wants to get up there.
That's what he wants. He wants a payday. So he's gonna and probably tune up a little bit more because to come at the king, you gotta be ready. And he obviously wasn't ready because he lost last time, although it was close in the first round. Michael Chiesa just lost. Stephen Thompson just lost. Vicente Luque is gonna have to fight Gilbert Burns. They're training partners. They don't want to, but I don't think they're gonna have much of a choice unless Nate Diaz comes around and offers Gilbert Burns that money.
Well, I think Luque is gonna fight Thompson or Leon.
You think so?
That's what I was saying earlier because
That
now that you said that they're teammates, I mean they're probably not gonna want to do that.
Yeah.
And then you got Leon Edwards, Stephen Thompson, who have beat Vicente Luque before. So it'd be really interesting. And then I'd see Gilbert Burns if he had no other option. If Vicente Luque ended up being number 3, number 4, that probably is the next matchup there.
Yeah, I agree. Leon Edwards versus Vicente Luque. Winner takes Kamaru Usman after he beats Colby Covington. Moving on to middleweight, Israel Adesanya is signed against Robert Whittaker. I think it's going to be a much, much harder fight for Israel Adesanya this time around. However, I do take him. I think he's gonna.
Is that officially the next move? Is that what I know? That's what they both want. I just don't know if that's actually happening.
Oh yeah, maybe it hasn't been signed.
Well, let's just be realistic. That's probably the next matchup for Israel Robert. That'd be an amazing run it back there. So I want to talk that matchup, and then let's make one happen because realistically, there's not much else. Israel's taking everybody out.
Well, you know what? No, if Jared Cannonier wins against Kelvin Gastelum, then Israel Adesanya, if that fight's not signed between him and Robert Whittaker yet, then he could eat because he wanted to fight him.
He mad respect. He talks very highly of Jared Cannonier. They're really close in that regard of respect.
Yeah. So that's the fight to make. If it's not Robert Whittaker, I think Jared Cannonier, you have to win again. You lost last time, you take the dub this time.
Ain't gonna be Paulo Costa or Marvin Vettori.
Nope, not anytime soon.
Nope. If Jared Cannonier, Israel Adesanya, I got Israel Adesanya. Robert Whittaker, Israel Adesanya. That That's a harder one for me. I'm a big fan of Robert Whitaker, but Israel Adesanya all the way, man. Izzy's the masterclass striker of this the UFC, probably one of the best, if not the best, that's ever been there.
Yeah, agreed. Light heavyweight, Jan Blachowicz, he's already signed against Glover. That's already signed for sure.
Jiri Prohaska is the alternate for that matchup. That is known. That is reported out there. So if anything does happen, so maybe they have something they know about Glover Teixeira that he might pull out, possibly, or it could be travel issues with COVID or whatever it could be. There could be multiple different things. But yeah, Glover Teixeira, Jan Blachowicz is that matchup.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I have Jan.
Polish power forever, baby.
Right. He's in his prime. I mean, he's old, but I mean, like UFC terms, right? He's old. He's like the oldest champion, I believe. But
yeah, he's 38.
Yeah, he's 38. He might be 39 by the time they fight.
I'm gonna check that out actually right now.
So yeah, Jan definitely takes the dub in my mind, just because I think he is in the.
Yeah, he'll be 39 by the time, probably.
Yeah, but he's 38, and it's old for the UFC standards, but he's really just been on a tear lately. He seems untouchable, unstoppable. Israel Adesanya isn't that's no joke. Even though it went to the decision and Israel didn't really get hurt, it was kind of just like a outstriking kind of thing.
Right.
It wasn't the most exciting fight, but regardless, it's Israel Adesanya that you just beat. And then before that, he took on Dominic Reyes, who at the time you could really argue. I mean, he's still ranked number 5. At the time, you could really argue that Dominic Reyes. He's the top of the top. You good? So.
Oh yeah, I just had a little bit in my throat. I was dying there.
Yeah. So Yuri Prohaska against Jan would be a great fight to watch. So.
Oh, that's the next thing. They've already after he beat Dominic Reyes, Yuri. That was kind of stated that he's the net. Well, actually, Dana White, from his own mouth, if he wins this fight, he will fight Jan Blachowicz. So he's going to be fighting Jan Blachowicz down the road. Jan Blachowicz has just amazing power. And we've seen it over and over again. And this transformation, he understands something clicked with him.
Yeah,
his wrestling's there, his power's there. Glover Teixeira is an amazing boxer. So this is going to be interesting to see. So if Jan Blachowicz can keep his distance with his legs, we saw that in the Dominic Reyes fight, the fucking footprint on the rib cage, that was absolutely insane. I got Jan Blachowicz.
Cool. I do too.
Yeah.
Heavyweight. Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane. We talked about that at the top of the show. You have Cyril Gane. I have Francis Ngannou.
Do you hear the rumors about the Stipe John Jones fight?
I've heard the rumors. I don't think they're going to make it. I think John Jones.
That's a great fight.
It is. I would.
That's a great fight.
Don't get me
That's
wrong.
the fight that,
as a fan, I would love.
Oh, for sure. I'd love Stipe to beat John Jones, but I want to see John Jones at heavyweight. I really do. Because if Cyril, okay.
No, I don't. I don't want to see that.
If Francis Ngannou, for some odd reason, doesn't end up fighting Cyril Gane, which in the universe of what's happening right now, that's not possible. I would like to see John Jones versus Cyril Gane.
I would also like that. Whether Francis wins or loses, or Cyril Gane wins or loses, if John Jones comes in and beats Francis Ngannou, let's just say, Cyril Gane will probably be the next person he fights at that point. That's so far down the road.
Yeah.
I don't think Cyril Gane's gonna just traject down. I think he'd probably just stay where he's at and probably get a couple rematches, fight John Jones. Regardless, he's in there. Stipe needs to demand respect even more so now, even though he shouldn't have to, but that's just the way that this world works. Stipe,
he's the heavyweight GOAT.
He is the heavyweight GOAT, but man, it sucks that people don't really have so much respect for him, especially in the promotion.
Which is weird. He's been the underdog in every fucking fight he's had, and he's just showed up every single time, and just, I don't know, he's got my respect. I love you, Stipe. You're a good guy. You're a firefighter. Put those flames out. I'm excited for him to fight, come back, especially if it's John Jones.
I would also like him to fight Cyril Gane.
Stipe?
Stipe.
Ooh.
Dude, Stipe's
no, Stipe's not slow at all. I would like that matchup too, just because, like you said, we don't know the power behind Cyril Gane. We just don't. We haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it. That one-punch knockout that Francis Ngannou, that short left hook, or right hook, I believe, that knocked out Stipe in their last matchup. I think Stipe could actually bring that first loss to Cyril Gane.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I would love to see that. I want Stipe to. Stipe needs. I want Francis Ngannou versus Stipe, number 3, before I want Cyril Gane versus.
Yeah, they're 1-1,
which
right?
is why I'm so angry. Yes, which is why I'm so angry that Cyril Gane and Derek Lewis fought for the interim. I will say this, as we're early on in this podcast, so
Yeah.
before we become known from the UFC people who watch all this shit and get in trouble, and then they'll never want to talk to us ever. I will say that Cyril Gane and Derek Lewis didn't need to happen for the title. I'm absolutely livid about it. Francis Ngannou deserved it. He could have taken out Derek Lewis in September, but no, they wanted to kind of push that forward. They had a contract with Houston, the city,
right?
They needed to get that filled, and Francis Ngannou might have.
Yeah, honestly, you're absolutely right, man. This was kind of unnecessary. Like Cyril Gane and Derek Lewis could have just fought for a ranked fight,
right,
and just could have been. It would have been, yeah, regardless. And it's like there's no. Oh man, this is the back. This is the back room. This is the evil people in the back, just getting ready to go. They wrote it out. I mean, they did it. I mean, like Dana White said, you couldn't have wrote it out better. And maybe they had the plan the whole time, and maybe that was the issue. But I think you're absolutely right. I'm upset as a fan, and upset for Stipe as well, just because like I think you're right. This could have been just a normal main event fight. This could have been big, regardless of what it could have been. A pay-per-view, could have been a fight night. Who cares? The next big matchup could have been that Stipe.
Right. Yep. Cyril Gane versus Derek Lewis in August. Francis Ngannou versus Stipe in September, and then you go ahead and you book them for a December fight. The winner between those. That could have been easily it, but no, they wanted to pressure Ngannou for whatever fucking reason. The back room, like you said,
3 months. 3 months.
The evil that 3 months. The evil that is there in the back that just kind of tells people you need to do this and shut up, and if you say no, then we'll just push you down the line. Francis Ngannou is still the champion, though. He comes back. He's going to beat Cyril Gane, in my eyes, and if not, he's still going to be a force to be reckoned with. So, moving on, we are actually going to do the women's and rank who's next for who next week. So you guys stay tuned. Stay looking forward to that. We are wrapping up the show. I am Alejandro Sanchez. That is Luis Macias. We are Los MMA Hermanos. Thank you guys so much for coming and listening to this or watching it on YouTube. And we will see you guys next week for episode 3.
Woohoo! Peace out, guys.